So let's take a few minutes to arrive in your bodies, arrive with your intentions, just start to settle. Perhaps closing your eyes. This evening, I definitely have a theme for us and some focus, but I really would like to start with the Mishaberach. And I would like to take a couple of moments to really send our healing energy to anyone and everyone who is affected by all of these fires raging across California. I'm sure many of you are either directly or indirectly affected, even just through the smoke in the air. I'd like to send healing thoughts and prayers to those who have lost their homes, to the animals that are fleeing the forests and the wildlife that's escaping or trying to escape. And I want to extend that prayer of healing to anyone that is working or trying to move through COVID, which cannot be easy with all of the smoke in the air. And anything that you guys are going through, any people in your lives that you know need healing, let's just bring those into our hearts and our minds. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. And let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So this evening we come together to enter, embody, and explore Elul together. This class this evening is going to be very gentle. I really wanted to create something that would help us to softly engage our bodies. I think with everything going on, especially, we need to be tender and soft with our bodies, in our emotions, in our hearts. So we're going to move gently. And I really want to invite you to do what feels good. And if you start to move in a way that I guide you to do, and then your body takes over and you want to do something different or something else or something to enhance what I've offered, please do so. This is your practice, and the wisdom of your body is to be trusted. So as we enter, I want to invite you to join me in practicing Ayeka, this Ayeka practice, which is asking yourself where you are. So we'll start with the basic, right? We'll start with the Peshat, like just where are you? You can use your eyes open, look around, and orient yourself to the space that you're inhabiting right now. What does your floor look like? What do your walls look like? Notice the items around you. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. And just orient yourself to the space that you are inhabiting right now. This is where you are physically. And then perhaps you might close your eyes and begin to ask Ayeka, where are you mentally? Without letting any of the thought trains take off with you on them, just noticing if your mind is busy or scattered, if it's relatively calm. What's the quality of your mental state right now? And then sinking into a deeper level, noticing your emotional state. You might easily place words to the emotions that you're predominantly feeling right now. Or perhaps you have more of a felt sense inside your body of what you're feeling and maybe where you feel it. Take a moment to notice what emotions are within you right now, are true for you. We'll practice witnessing emet with chesed, so witnessing what is true and witnessing that with kindness. What are the qualities of the sensations that you feel? Do your feelings feel heavy or light? Do they feel tingly or piercing? Does your emotional canvas have a color? And letting that, all of that be true, letting it all be welcome. And starting to expand your awareness to your spiritual reality right now. Where are you spiritually? You're here for Elul. You've joined this group to prepare yourself spiritually. How prepared are you feeling right now for the High Holy Days? How are you feeling spiritually? And take a moment to notice anything in particular that might be getting in the way of you being able to be fully present right here in your practice. And name that in your mind or name it out loud. What is getting in the way? What's an obstacle that you know might prevent you from being fully present? Good, and then we'll let that be there. It's all okay. And when we shine the light of truth on this thing that might be in the way, it loses some of its power. So we're going to move now into a really gentle breathing to help us continue to enter the space of Elul, to enter the wisdom of our bodies. And we will practice 4 to 8 breathing ratio. And if your lungs, I understand that we're all in a different place with our lung capacity in general anyway, and then you add this extra air quality. So I want you to be really gentle with yourself. Breathe in through your nose if you're able to, and just notice how many counts it takes you to get your lungs full. So for example, we might shoot for 4. So it might be like inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale through your pursed lips like a straw. and see if you can lengthen that exhale till you're fully empty to about a count of 8. Don't worry if you can't get 4 and 8. Maybe yours will be 2. Inhale for 2, exhale for 4. But you'll want to keep the cadence the same. So whatever your cadence is, stay with it the same on the inhale, same on the exhale. And just work on elongating the exhale, which is going to help you really initiate the parasympathetic nervous system, help you to release stress and calm the nervous system. So we're going to do that. I'm going to sound the bell, and we'll do that for a few rounds. And when you hear the bell again, just do another couple of rounds, and then we'll sit in silence. Let this be your last round of ratio breathing, and then settle into a rhythm that feels natural and comfortable for you this evening. Please bring a hand to your heart and a hand to your belly, and take a moment to state or say in your mind and heart your own personal kavanah, your own intention for practicing this evening. So now we're going to move to our backs, if that works for your body. If it doesn't work to be on your back, you will most likely be able to find ways to modify from a chair. So I'm going to come to my back, and as I said, we're not using any props so that you're free of needing anything extra. And we'll just start to bring the knees up and just start to squeeze the knees and rock from side to side. If you're in a chair, you can bring one knee up at a time and just give it a little squeeze. And start to feel the quality of movement with your back supported. We'll place the left foot down and reach the right leg up. If you're able to hold the back of your leg, go ahead and do that. If you have a strap and you want to use that, go ahead. But just start to stretch out that leg and then bend the knee and then stretch the leg. So we're just doing a little gentle opening of the hamstring. Great. I can see little legs from way over here. Very exciting for me. And just start to do some ankle rotations, just softly opening up the ankles. We're going to really bring some gentle release to the joints this evening to create space. When we create space in the body, we create space in the mind, and then we can allow creative insights to come into our field of consciousness. So everything's connected. So you can squeeze that right knee in towards your chest. If you want to extend your left leg, if that feels okay for you, you can do that. And just start to hold the shin of the right leg and do some circles, just massaging the hip joint and connecting to your breath. Take your knee, your right knee, and cross it over your body and take a nice gentle twist. So some of you might go really into this twist where your knee lands on the floor, and some of you may stop halfway. Open up your right arm and breathe into that right rib cage, just feeling the ribs expand and fill as your lungs fill. I have my left hand under my knee a little bit just to kind of prop it up to give it support, since I don't have a block right next to me, but you're welcome to use a pillow or a block. And just breathe in your twist. So the twisting is going to help massage the digestive organs and help us to digest anything that we need to, both physically, food-wise, and energetically. And then go ahead and bring your right knee back up. You might need to straighten out your hips a little bit. And then we'll change sides. So squeeze your left knee in, maybe extend the right leg, it's up to you. And then hold the back of the left leg and just start to lift the leg up, reach for the sky, and then bend the knee. Just really softly extending and flexing the leg. You can keep your left foot flexed, like you're trying to put your little footprint on the ceiling. Just a few times, keep breathing. Good, maybe hugging that knee in close to the side of your rib cage again. Do some ankle rotations. Pointing and flexing the foot and the toes. And then just holding that shin and just massaging, maybe moving the leg from side to side so you get some compression in the hip joint. And then we'll take our twist on this side. So you can use your right hand to help guide your knee across your body, coming into your twist. Left arm will extend like a wing, and you might gaze over that left arm and take some deep breaths. And with your exhale, soften and let go. If your mind starts to wander at any point in time while we're together this evening, practice Teshuvah. Just start to return back to your body and back to your breath. You can come back anytime. As soon as you know you've left, you've returned. Go ahead and bring your knee back up. And then hug both knees in once again. Maybe rock side to side. And then bring your feet to the floor so your knees will stay bent. And the feet are about hip width apart and close to your buns. And we'll start to do some gentle pelvic rocking. So at any point, if you need to move to a chair and you want to do this, you can do this from a seated position. So what really helps is to bring your fingertips to your frontal hip bones and then just start to scoop your tailbone forward. You kind of engage your abdominals like you're going to do a sit-up or an ab crunch. So you pull your tailbone forward toward your belly button. And if you're on the floor, you'll feel your lower back press into the floor. And then you'll arch your lower back. So it's like your tailbone wants to reach back behind you. So you create a little space between your lower back and the floor. And you'll feel the movement as you touch the frontal hip bones. You'll feel this rocking of the pelvis. And so the buns aren't going to lift off the floor. We're just practicing this really subtle movement, which is really nourishing for this lower back and hip complex. See if you can keep your knees from moving, from shifting around. Try to keep them still so that you know the movement's just in the hips. Breathing in as you arch, breathing out as you tuck. Breathing in as you arch, breathing out as you tuck. Just a couple more, just to wake up the hips. There's a lot of emotions get stored in the hips, so this is a really nice way to release. Good. So now I would invite you to either lie flat on your back, like a Savasana pose, or if this is not great for your lower back, you can keep your knees bent and walk your knees away from, or your feet away from each other, and lean your knees in toward each other. This will take pressure off your lower back. I really like this position with your arms out to the sides or maybe on your body. And just take some breaths here and rest with your eyes closed. And what I'll do is, while you're here, I'm going to read you the focus of our practice this evening. So it's traditional to read Psalms during the month of Elul, and particularly Psalm 27. So I'm going to read Psalm 27 to start. So what I would ask you to do is to practice the essence of Shema. So these three layers of Shema, which is to hear my words, to let those sound vibrations go right through the ethers to you from Zoom, right? Just hear the words. And then to also listen deeply to anything that stands out for you. Really actively listen to hear. And then seek to understand, to let something land for you that resonates. So Shema, hear and listen and understand. And then we'll move on from there. So here's Psalm 27. Adonai is my light and my victory. From whom should I feel fright? Adonai is the stronghold of my life. From whom should I feel terror? When evildoers approach me in battle to feed on my flesh, my pursuers, my adversaries, they have stumbled, they have fallen down. If a camp encamps against me, my heart will not fear. If a war arises against me, in this I would trust. One thing I have sought from Adonai, how I long for it, that I may live in the house of Adonai all the days of my life, that I may look upon the sweetness of Adonai, and spend time in the palace, that you might hide me in your sukkah on a chaotic day. Hide me in the hiding places of your tent. Raise me high upon a rock. Now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of teruah. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hear, Adonai, my voice. I am crying out. Be gracious to me. Answer me. My heart has said to you, seek my face. I am seeking your face, Adonai. Do not hide your face from me. Do not turn your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Do not forsake me. Do not abandon me, God of my deliverance. For my father and my mother have abandoned me, yet Adonai gathers me up. Make your path apparent to me. Guide me in the upright road because of those up ahead who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the lust of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen against me, puffing violently. Had I not the faith that I would see the goodness of God in the land of life. Wait for Adonai. Fill your waiting with hope in Adonai. Let your heart be strong and of good courage, and wait hopefully for Adonai. So what we will do is take one verse from this psalm, and we will explore this beautiful poem written by Rabbi Deborah J. Robbins. I think she must be a yoga practitioner based on her writing. It's beautiful. So we're going to explore the poem from one of the verses, from verse 6 of this psalm. But for now, we're going to keep moving our bodies. So I'm going to have you roll to your side and press yourself up and come to all fours just to start to loosen up your spine. If you're in a chair, this can be done from a seated position. So we'll just start to round the back and arch the back, just really continuing that pelvic tilt and extension and flexion, but bringing it into the spine. If you know that you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, don't round your spine. You'll just stick with the extension and then come to flat back and keep your movement smaller. If you're clear of that, then you can round the back fully, breathing in and breathing out, and letting the weight of your head go with each rounding of the back. So freeing the spine, let yourself maybe wag your tail and move in ways that feel really good, that free your spine and your lower back. Good. And then we're going to come to standing from here, or you can be in a chair. And we're going to continue this joint release. So standing with the feet together to start, we'll do some knee circles. You can place your hands on your thighs and hold your belly in. So you want to make sure that you're not just hanging out on your lower back here. So bending the knees, back is flat, and then doing some soft knee circles. So we freed up the ankles, and now we're moving to the knees. Connecting to the breath. Go both directions. Good. And then come to stand, and then open up your legs, and put your hands on your hips, and we're just do some really big hip circles. And go slow. So not skipping over any parts that are tight or in resistance, but really just breathing into them. It's kind of like when we want to do self-reflection and introspection. The idea is really good, and then we start to do it, and then we hit some resistance. And so maybe we turn and look the other way, or we kind of give up. But instead, what happens if we stop, if we breathe, and if we slow down, and if we practice Shema, if we really listen to hear and to understand. Soft hips, both directions. Good. Go ahead and bring your feet back underneath your hips. And either from your chair or standing, we're going to release the shoulders and the arms. So shrug your shoulders up, back, and down. You can do this a few times. Connect it to your breath. Choose just one shoulder and move that up, back, and down a few times. And keep your knees soft. And then change direction, up, forward, and down. Good. Other shoulder, up, back, and down. Breathing. Good. And then changing direction, back and up and forward. Noticing any difference from one shoulder to the other. Good, and then relax. We're going to release the neck now. So keep your knees nice and soft. It's really common to lock the knees, but we want to keep connection to the ground through soft knees. So we're going to tilt the left ear to the left shoulder. So I'll try to mirror you here. So left ear to left shoulder, and allow the weight of your head to just come to the side without pushing your head towards your shoulder, right? So no strong effort, just let the weight take you into a gentle stretch. And then perhaps lifting that right arm. Ooh. And then bring the head back upright, but keep your right arm out to the side. Notice if your shoulder's lifted up and bring it back down. And now look to your left. So you're looking away from your lifted arm, and the hand is really pressing, like the palm is pressing into a wall perhaps. And breathe. Opening up the chest and the neck. Good. Look back to forward and then make some big wrist circles all the way back down. Good. And just feel that blood flow coming from the side of the neck down into the hand. And just see, like, is there a difference between that arm that you just stretched in the neck and the other side? So this time we'll bring the other ear to the other shoulder. So that'll be right ear to right shoulder. Breathing, softening the neck. Soft knees. Lifting up that arm, so the left arm reaches up and the palm presses away from you. And then straighten the head. Good. Flex your palm and spread those fingers, and then turn away from that lifted arm and breathe. You might feel a lot of activity in the chest and the arm. Good. Look to center and then make some big circles with your wrists as your hand floats back down. Good. And pause here. So we're going to do a little super simple brain balancing. So this can be done from the chair as well. You would just lift your opposite knee and touch opposite knee to the hand. Otherwise, as standing, we're just going to march in place. So as we cross over the body, we're balancing the right and left hemispheres of the brain. I think that when we're trying to see clearly and with perspective, it's really important that we access all the parts of our brain along with our heart. So breathing, marching, just connecting both sides. Good. And then stop with your legs a little bit far apart, like past your hips, and just take some really gentle twists. So I like to let my hands flop against my chest and lower back. And think of your spine just letting go of any tension that it's been holding. Let whatever you don't need just slide down your shoulders and out of your hands. Good. And then come to stillness. Feet under the hips. We'll practice a little bit of tapping, which will help to regulate the immune system. And also tapping to help the nervous system and to help calm any feelings of stress or panic or worry, that kind of stuff. We can really send a message of safety to our nervous system. So we're going to start with tapping the top of the head, the very center of the head. Just tap it gently with your fingertips. Breathe in and out. Nice and slow. Here might be a time where you say something to yourself, an affirmation like, I'm safe, or I'm peaceful, just something really simple. And say that a few times to yourself. Good. And then we're just going to tap right under the eyes, like the bone of the eye. Just tap there with your fingertips. We're doing a shorter version of a long tapping routine. And then your chin, the center of your chin, just tapping and thinking that affirmation. And then right under your collarbones, like if you had a bow tie and you just tapped with your hands where that bow tie might sit, tapping there gently. Good. And then just tapping the center of the chest. So we're activating the thymus for the immune system. And I'd like you to take a breath in and then let out an ah sound. Ah, good. And then now just knock on your ribs. Just tap on the side of your ribs, just waking up the spleen. Good. And then shake it out. Good. So here's where we're going to explore and embody this beautiful writing. And we'll go through it together, piece by piece. So again, this is by Rabbi Deborah Robbins, and she took verse 6 of the Psalm, Ba'ata Yarum Roshi, which means now elevated is my head. And she calls this holding my head high. So the verse from what I read earlier is this. Now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of teruah. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. And she says, it's about posture. I come before God upright. So let's stand in mountain pose. Feet under the hips, shoulders back and down. Standing, head high, so lifting the chin just a little bit. Feet planted, so feel your feet, each of your feet rooted into the floor or your yoga mat. Feel the ground you stand on. Palms facing out, so turn the palms slightly forward in this position of receptivity, of trust really. Long spine, level chin. So feeling your connection as if your feet and your spine are like Jacob's ladder, connecting earth to heaven. So the feet grounded, the length and strength of the spine. We are in the pose of Samasthiti, which in Sanskrit means upright and steady. This is the pose that we take. She goes on, relaxed jaw. Feel your jaw soften. You might even maybe touch your jaw, maybe give it a little rub, and soften your jaw. For this is the time where we speak less and we listen more. We go within. Soften your jaw. Ears away from the shoulders, she says. Angel wings tucked in. So feel your shoulder blades coming together on your back and down. Feel them as angel wings tucked in. Good. Soft knees. Feel the shift. My breath flows more freely. I am less constricted. Feel in your body right now this leaving Mitzrayim, leaving Egypt, the constriction in your body, that you leave it behind. And you soften and you open up to the promised land of your body and your soul. She goes on, I am less constricted so that my heart might pump with gratitude, with compassion. Feel the softening of your body, the opening of your heart. Upright, she says, I can gaze toward the horizon, beyond my troubles, my enemies round about. Toward the horizon, just above the troubles, the enemies that cluster around. So I'd like you to think of these enemies as our perceived enemies. It could be outer enemies, outer people that our obstacles. We feel our obstacles to our growth or our well-being. Think about these enemies roundabout as your habits, your thought patterns, the things in your life that you know surround you and circle you that don't provide your highest benefit. She says, upright, I can envision potential paths, infinite destinations. So here, let's come from our upright mountain pose to open the legs and soften the knees. Come into a really gentle, soft squat, just a little soft knees. And bring your hands to your heart. And so we bring in this idea and wish of pokeach ivrim, to open our eyes and to see clearly the vision, the horizon, beyond all the stuff that's going on right here to what's possible. So we breathe in possibilities. And we breathe out and just start to move your energy. So breathe out, open the arms, breathe in, come back to the heart, and breathe out. Breathing in, receiving your own wisdom, the wisdom of the divine. Breathing out, clearing the pathway, clearing the horizon, seeing with clarity whatever it is that you need to see right now. Let your hands rest on your heart and belly. Bring your feet back underneath you. Upright. No upturned nose. No head hung in shame. No high horse of judgment. Upright takes focus, active effort, physical and mental determination. Only with my head held high and my breath flowing freely can I come before God and discern the shofar's call to Ruah. So go ahead and come to your chair if you have a chair handy, or you're welcome to sit on the floor as you began. And still practicing this idea of Jacob's ladder, feeling the spine lifting, feeling the effort that it takes to be upright. It's so much easier for us to slump in our chairs, isn't it? Isn't it just easier sometimes? And we do that when we let go of the effort to be upright and to have integrity and to stand for our values and all that we believe in. And we do this is what happens. Our heart closes down. We become Mitzrayim. It's in our body. We become Egypt. So we want to always, it takes effort, but it's so worth it to sit up, to breathe, to open the heart. Teruah is the staccato sound of the shofar, the 9 staccato sounds that remind us of the brokenness of the world. And they call us to be a part of the healing of that brokenness in the world and in ourselves. So just taking a moment to feel your upright posture, whether standing or sitting, to feel your feet on the ground, to feel and know your vision, your ability to see beyond the horizon, beyond the things that have gotten in your way in the past and may still get in your way, of knowing your true self, of really expressing all that you are here to express in the world. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come back to the floor, and we'll come into a guided relaxation. You actually can use your chair at the end of Shavasana. You could even use it now if you wanted to. If you get really close to it, you can place your legs on the chair, and it's a really lovely way to take pressure off of your back. You want to make sure your back of your knees are supported by the seat of the chair if you can, because you don't want the back of the knees to feel any strain. But you could rest like this or any way you want. So I want you to find the most comfortable position that you can be in for a few minutes. As we embody, so we were exploring, and now we embody the wisdom. And how we do that, it's not about force. It's about openness and receptivity. So without expectations, you just let yourself go. Let your body start to rest. Set your intention to listen. Start to release the efforts of your physical body. So let the muscles of your legs and your arms and your back just start to soften. Let your head release. Your facial muscles, let those soften. There's no one that you need to smile for. You can soften and let your face be authentic and relaxed. As you breathe, feel your chest and your belly rise. And as you breathe out, release even more. Returning to your own personal kavana. Let yourself be held by gravity. Let yourself be held by life itself. You are safe in this moment. And the Torah is written in your body. All that you need to know is inside of you right now. Now my head rises high above my enemies round about, and in your tent I'll offer offerings to the sound of teruah. I shall sing and chant praises to Adonai. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, LeShalom, V'ha'amideinu Shomreinu L'chaim, Uvros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Uvros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Feel the blanket of peace, the shelter of peace enfolding you, keeping you safe, your family, your loved ones, this world, this planet. Knowing that your own inner wisdom will continue to rise up in the moments where you become still and quiet and listen. Bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly. And let your heart speak to you. Let your inner wisdom speak to you. One or two words. What is your focus for Elul? What will best prepare you for these high holy days? When you hold your head high and you look clearly into the horizon of your life, where does your focus need to be? Take a big, deep breath. Breath for gratitude of life, for being breathed, and start to move your body in gentle ways. Once again, starting to feel yourself in the space that you're in, just orienting yourself into the room that you're in, the feel of the air on your skin, the weight of your body. And as you're ready, you can begin to gently press yourself up to a seated position. And please join me for a call and response closing prayer. May all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy.
May all beings be
May all beings be free.
May all beings be free.
May all beings be loved.
May all beings be loved.
May all beings have peace.
May all beings have
May
peace.
it be so.
May it be so.
Ken Yehi Ratzon.
May it be Ratzon.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I want to say thank you to all of you for allowing me to